Yesterday, a bombshell hit the internet once again as Coffeezilla revealed that Logan Paul is suing him. I don't even know how that would work. I don't know. But if you guys remember, Coffeezilla was pretty much the predominant journalist in the Crypto Zoo scam, quite frankly, and all of the things that happened around it, and did multiple videos on it. He's obviously been the primary journalist on a lot of crypto scams, but Logan Paul in particular was a big one for him and for the internet because it was Logan Paul. So after this whole ordeal, and I'm pretty sure after Logan had multiple times said that Coffee was like a good journalist and somebody that he respected and all this, he's now suing Coffeezilla again. I don't even like how, why, and for what reason does Logan think this is going to help him in the court of law or public perception? I have no idea. But let's take a look and see what exactly is the reason and how legitimate this lawsuit is. Breakdown, let's go.
Logan Paul is suing me for Crypto Zoo only a year after he thanked me for it. Rather than pay back his victims fully, Logan would rather publicly humiliate himself in court by accusing me of defaming him. He's hired 5 lawyers to sue me, which he hopes will stop me from exposing him again. You see, only hours before this lawsuit was filed, I had reached out to Logan Paul about a new investigation into one of his companies, which has just been accused by the Canadian government of being a multi-layered fraud and can't.
Oh. So as Logan was, I guess, about to sue him, or I don't know what was happening, Coffeezilla has found out, what does it say? The OSC accuses executives of Logan Paul's liquid marketplace misappropriating investor funds. Oh my God, another one? Yo! So, okay, Coffeezilla reaches out to Logan Paul to see about another company he's involved with. This word, this phrase right here, misappropriating investor funds, almost always means embezzling money. You're using it for other means, but most of the time you're keeping it. Or you're giving it to other people and not using it for the thing the investors funded it for, right? Oh man, this could get nasty. I don't understand how, again, Logan finds himself in these situations where, one, you're around people that are potentially, allegedly, misappropriating investor funds, aka embezzling, and then the other stuff with Crypto Zoo. How do you get in business with these people? All right, well, as he reaches out, he reaches out and then Logan sues him. You have to think that there's a reason for that. Maybe it has nothing to do with Crypto Zoo, but more so this right here, and that Coffeezilla was getting a little too close.
I obviously had questions, but before I was able to get answers, Logan's team of lawyers showed up to silence me. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to go through this lawsuit. I'm going to tell you how to support us if you want, because while I didn't think I'd need help, I was wrong. But before we get to my mistake, let's start with Logan's.
Wait.
This
What is this? Logan Paul and KSI's Prime sued for $68 million by bottling company for breach of contract. Oh man, there are just lawsuits coming out, but I don't know what that is. We'll keep an eye out on it, I guess, though.
Suit is not about Logan Paul getting defamed. Instead, this is about him trying to dodge accountability, victims, and blame anyone but himself for his problems, especially me. This lawsuit says Logan Paul wants to hold me accountable for my actions.
Paul brings this defamation suit to hold Coffeezilla accountable for his actions and to hold him liable for the immense harm that he has caused Paul's reputation through the intentional and reckless dissemination of defamatory falsehoods. The ups and downs of his career, including the Crypto Zoo disappointment, Paul has learned to believe in the importance of accountability and taking responsibility for one's actions. Oh, buddy. Okay. Well, again, you're talking about dissemination of defamatory falsehoods. I'm sure Coffee will explain. I don't remember him disseminating any false information about Logan Paul or the company. This can't go in any way like Logan's way. And sometimes, by the way, you just be suing people to shut them up, like Coffee's saying, but just because you have more money than they do and you can just drown them in it. You know, you can just bleed out. And that maybe is what Coffee's going to get to in a little bit. You could just bleed out smaller creators or people that just don't have the same amount of money as you do just by continually suing them and continuing court cases until they run out of money to pay for lawyers. It's a weak move, I agree, but that can potentially that's how Logan can stop all this, I guess. It's just by continuing to throw money at it. It's crazy, but it works for people that have a lot of it.
But what actions are those? Holding him accountable? It's ironic because his lawyers claim Logan has learned to believe in the importance of accountability. But accountability for who? Currently, Logan is fighting the victims of CryptoZoo in court, and now he's fighting the journalist who exposed him in the first place. Personally, I believe Logan has learned nothing from this except how to silence people with the law. But I won't be silenced because Logan's lawsuit makes no sense. We're going to go through it because from the beginning, there's problems. Logan's 5 lawyers tried to discredit me as a journalist.
I love how he keeps saying 5 lawyers. Like, that is crazy that Logan hired a freaking O.J. Simpson level lawyer team to come after Coffeezilla. He's like, I need the freaking dream team of lawyers to come after this man for saying exactly what happened with crypto. Like, again, I don't know what this lawsuit's about, but there was nothing defaming about what Coffeezilla said. He just reported what was true. Logan defamed himself.
They paint me as someone who wanted money. They say I had a false and malicious narrative. But you know who doesn't believe that? You know who secretly praises me behind the scenes?
This journalist, YouTuber, crypto uncoverer guy named Coffeezilla, who's incredible, by the way. A very thorough, good-hearted, smart guy, did a deep dive into this project that I attempted to make called CryptoZoo.
That's right, it's Logan Paul. He's the biggest.
He got receipts. All right, so Graham Bensinger did cover this entire thing in his, like, and that whole thing is funny too. Like, Graham followed Logan around for like 6 months for his, I don't know what it was called, in-depth series. And Logan thought it was going to be on Netflix or like on some big documentary thing. And Graham just released it on YouTube. And Logan told him everything. And in the whole thing, Logan just self-incriminates. And he's like, yo, Coffee's not even a journalist in this lawsuit. Coffee's not even a journalist, right? That's what the lawsuit says, right? He's a self-proclaimed journalist, right? Self-described investigative journalist. And then Logan goes on to describe him as a journalist. Oh, bro.
He's the biggest enemy of Logan Paul's defamation case. Who knew? Because defamation requires actual malice and a reckless disregard for the truth. But he just admitted on camera that I am thorough and good-hearted. Maybe that's why he wanted to remove that video from the internet, according to the YouTuber who released it.
The only issue that was ever communicated was remove this crypto stuff, remove this CryptoZoo stuff. If CryptoZoo is in there, Coffeezilla's in there, I'm not going to promote it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just so bad. How do you get this crazy with your money that you don't even, like, I don't even know if Logan realizes that all this stuff is out there. Yeah, look at Logan's face. You have to get to a point in life where you have so much fuck you money that you wield it around as a sword and act like it's a shield. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing right here. Logan is wielding around the amount of money he's made to hire, again, the dream team of lawyers to protect himself from a guy like Coffeezilla, but using it realistically as a sword to stop a guy like Coffeezilla from exposing whatever it is that they wanted to stop him from exposing. Problem is, Logan is so out there on the internet and he's accessible through every medium that you can find, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, that he has put himself on camera directly contradicting what the lawsuit says. It's just like they half-ass whatever it is they're doing at all times. That's what it looks like. Whether it's companies, lawsuits, they just like Logan's team half-asses all this stuff. It's crazy. It makes him look way worse, 100%. There's no case for Logan to be able to actually sue him and win.
Yeah. Remove that CryptoZoo stuff, that Coffeezilla stuff. Doesn't look good when you compliment the guy you're trying to sue. Maybe that's why Logan isn't even suing me for my original investigation at all, despite most of this lawsuit being a ridiculous fanfic about how I took Logan out of context, that Logan was a victim, that I withheld
Hold on,
fanfic.
we gotta, I like reading all these. Part 1 concludes with a preview of Part 2 in Coffee's CryptoZoo series. The preview features images of text messages between Paul and an unidentified person, with Coffee narrating snippets of those messages. No context whatsoever is provided.
About how I took Logan out of context, that Logan was...
The post was a gross and intentional distortion of Paul's prior statements in which he referenced Coffeezilla's research as a positive in the scene that had helped expose the wrongdoing by Paul's former business partners, who had also hoodwinked and victimized Paul. Ooh, okay. So here, now we're getting to where, I mean, again, this was the play for CryptoZoo all along. Like, Logan had nothing to do with the scammy nature of it or the fact that it didn't work or that he promised a game that didn't end up delivering, right? It was all the business partner, which is how he also is, I guess, going to approach this defamation suit with Coffee, right? Like, oh, this wasn't Logan, and you're painting it to sound like it was him, but it was all the former business partner. All right, we'll see how this goes.
Logan isn't suing me for any of the original investigation, though, because he knows he can't. Instead, at the end of the lawsuit, we find what my defamation really is.
Here we go.
I'm being sued for 2 videos and 1 tweet where I advocated for refunds for the victims. Yes, you heard me right. Logan Paul sued me after I tried to get his fans, the CryptoZoo investors, a full refund. Remember, there are 2 parts to CryptoZoo, the NFTs and the Zoo tokens, and Logan chose only to refund the NFTs, which is a minority of the losses, and I had a major problem with that. I told Logan this. I've stated over and over my opinion that it is disappointing for someone as rich as Logan to not make things fully right, and instead only pay back a small part of the losses while fighting the rest of the victims in court. And it's those videos and tweet where I ask for refunds, which I'm being sued for.
Okay, before we go on, correct me if I'm wrong, right? When Logan did this, refund or buyback or whatever, I need to make sure that we understand what happened. And I'm trying to retell it in my head, so correct me if I'm wrong. Was it not that Logan was buying back the NFT for what the current, at the time, price of the NFT was, and not the price that the original buyers bought at? And also, again, I could be wrong, but wasn't part of the buyback thing that if you bought back, that you weren't going to be able to, you had to sign something that was like, you can't take part in the lawsuit currently against Logan if you do get a portion of your refund? Allegedly. For legal purposes, all alleged. I'm asking questions. I don't have those answers. Alleged. That is correct. The buyback was the current rate, and you could not pursue any action against him. Okay, this is what I was asking. So again, Coffee was only asking for Logan to do, I guess, what would be considered the right thing to Coffee, by asking him to provide all of the refund for the things that, not only the NFT side, but I guess the game side, like the token side. I don't know. So that makes sense. That's reasonable. But how could you sue Coffee for asking for that?
First video in question is about Logan Paul not paying out refunds for 6 months. The second video was about Logan's partial refund, having a clause to make sure you couldn't sue him for the rest of your refund.
There you go.
And the tweet, I simply said, Logan's the type of guy to thank you for exposing his scam and block you when you remind him to pay up. I mean, yeah, now he's the type of guy to then sue you. Now, I'm sure Logan doesn't like it when I say things like Logan's victims or Logan's scam, but I have a question. If they're not Logan's victims, whose victims are they? Even Logan admits they are victims. He told me via text, just thought we had the same goal of helping victims.
He's bringing more receipts out, dude. The problem with Logan, man, for me, is that you don't want to hate him. When you look at him and you see kind of, who I guess he's around and stuff, he looks like a normal guy, to be fair, but you don't want to look at him in a bad light, but then he just continues to do things like this where it's like, bruh, how are we supposed to look at the way you're doing things and the way you're treating people and this, again, suing Coffee for this and go, yeah, this ain't good, man. This is not good.
So he agrees people have been wronged by his game. The thing that he said will earn you money.
It's a really fun game that makes you money.
So how are these not Logan's victims? He, of course, would say it's his business partner's fault. But remember, Jake and Eddie have been out of the picture for years. And yet, CryptoZoo hasn't been released, despite Logan constantly promising it, and of course, also threatening to sue me.
We're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court. By the time this comes out, it'll be done. The game's going to be made. You're going to have the opportunity to get your money back if you want, if you don't want to play the game. And I'm going to take care of the people who made me look like this was a scam perpetrated by me.
Right. Dude, Coffee doesn't even have to talk in the video, bro. He could just put these clips together in a video and have Logan refute himself. And that's Logan's biggest problem, is he doesn't want to be associated with the scam word or like the, the part of the games. I mean, honestly, it's about accepting responsibility. He doesn't want to be associated with the people that I guess in his mind, and again, I don't know the whole story, so this is all alleged, who actually was responsible for the game not working and the scam being perpetrated. Problem is, and what Coffee's saying is, the game is still not out. The game still doesn't work. And he's on camera being like, by the time this documentary, which aired on YouTube, came out, which was a couple months ago, the game will be ready to play. It's still not out. You still can't play it. You still cannot get the thing that you bought to do the thing it was supposed to do.
Logan wants to sue me and release a finished CryptoZoo game, but he's only done one of those. Since Logan can't blame his partners, Jake and Eddie, for this, because they've been out of the picture, Do you think he'll take accountability for not launching CryptoZoo? No. This time, he blames the government. He says releasing CryptoZoo has too many regulatory hurdles.
As far as the game itself, unfortunately, it will not be released. I personally spent $400,000 to have it developed, and after its completion in early 2023 and some further diligence, unfortunately, there are too many regulatory hurdles that would need to be cleared that I did not originally understand and would ultimately delay this buyback even further. Why not just leave it at that? Why fight a losing battle if you're Logan Paul? I don't understand this. Like, if you know the game is not going to work, just end it there. Chalk it up to the game or yourself or whoever, and just say, you know what, we tried something and it didn't work. We're really sorry. Here's the refund. Question for you guys. How much do you think Logan Paul will spend trying to sue Coffeezilla? Because what's the number? Isn't it $3 million that he's going to have to pay back? I'm not saying that's what's going to cost to sue Coffeezilla, but what is it going to cost? It's going to cost a lot of fucking money. You would think, depending on how long this thing goes on. What is that number? If the number even like comes close to 1 million or 2 million, like I don't know. I don't know how much a lawsuit costs. I have no idea, but it's going to cost a lot. Why not just put that toward the refund?
And now Logan would rather blame the government than take accountability. Or if you let him keep talking, Logan might rant about internet reporters having too much responsibility.
These internet journalists, internet investigative reporters have way too much responsibility on their hands.
I'm sorry. The thing that's the most funny about like this is why I paused it. He's talking about, you know, all the people with responsibility, all that stuff. And then it says private jet engine. Like, yo, all these guys got way too much responsibility and shit on their hands. And by the way, Logan's talking about it while in the middle of a private jet about to take off.
Hands that is being mismanaged and wielded in a really inappropriate way.
It's honestly funny to watch this guy whine about his problems, which you can barely hear over what sounds like a private jet. Which brings me to another problem Logan has. Part of any defamation case is damages and proving someone has harmed your reputation. But isn't Logan richer than ever with Prime? And did he have a reputation to harm? His lawsuit shows comments calling Logan a scammer, possibly to suggest he's been hurt by my videos. But you have to have a reputation to lose one. And by the time of my reporting in question, Logan Paul was already accused of participating in multiple crypto pump and dump schemes. That article does not reference my work. So Logan had already had a reputation as a scammer before my investigation.
You know what's crazy about this video? This video is actually Coffeezilla's, like, he's using this as legal defense. At least that's the way I look at it. He's providing his defense, like, this will be used for sure by his team or Logan's. Like, if he put anything on camera, they were going to come after it and use it, or essentially Coffeezilla's team can use it. And he's doing the proper, like, one, legal talk, and two, showing of receipts and showing of like dates of specific things that point to other people than him, quote unquote, defaming, allegedly, Logan. This is smart as hell, man. Like, this is a well-made video so far.
That article does not reference my work. So Logan had already had a reputation as a scammer before my investigation, at least if you believe their allegations. So this lawsuit from beginning to end is groundless, meritless, frivolous, and Logan knows that because behind the scenes, in clips he didn't want to get out, he's saying I'm thorough and good-hearted. But in public, he wants to sue me, silence me, and cost me money, because that's the one department where we both know he's got me beat. And this is where I have to get to my one embarrassing mistake in all of this. See, my defense against rich people like Logan Paul is media insurance, you know, for frivolous lawsuits. So when I was sued, I immediately called my insurance company to file a claim, so I wouldn't have to pay for it. But they told me they're not going to pay. They're trying to get out of covering us, using lawyers and fine print. It's a long story that I will be explaining on my second channel because...
This is interesting. I did not know this was even a thing that you could have. I mean, I knew you could have media insurance, but I didn't know that they could deny you based on nothing. Or maybe they've paid out too many claims, just like a regular insurance company. They're just like, what? We just keep having to pay out claims. We're not doing this. Very interesting, though.
But suffice to say, I got Dylan Danist. I may have even gotten scammed. I'm not quite sure. For now, the bottom line is we have to fight Logan with our personal funds.
Coffeezilla gets scammed by his own media insurance? Oh, I'm definitely watching that video. What the hell?
Which means I need to ask for your support. if you want to help.
By the way, yeah, if you guys are going to go help Coffee, there you go. I'm not going to take away from his thing there. You know, I'm just trying to get to the meat of the matter here. But there you go. Boom. I guess that's Patreon. There we go.
Why did Logan Paul sue me now? It's been over a year since he apologized and thanked me.
Thank you, Coffeezilla. I am very grateful for your work and your investigation, and I mean that.
When was that video posted? Again, I'm going through this because I'm super interested to see the timeline of things here.
Coffeezilla is not a criminal. I called him. I apologized.
Okay, there we go. This was on January 13th, 2023. Okay, so again, furthering my speculation that Logan, you know, said these nice things, apologized, all that, until Coffee kept going, asking, I guess, for the refunds and continually. Then Logan did not necessarily keep that same energy. The follow-up is what got Coffee, it looks like.
It might seem strange, but I've got some fun facts for you that may or may not be related. Did you know 6 days before the lawsuit, I had featured Logan Paul in a teaser for a video? Did you know 21 hours before the lawsuit, I had texted Logan for comment?
This is, okay, remember, the start of the video, he said that he had texted Logan about, or talked to Logan about Liquid Marketplace, something completely different from CryptoZoo, I think, or in some way different. And then they came after him with this. Liquid Marketplace got accused of something, as did 3 of the top executives. Given that I spoke with you about these allegations over a year ago, I wanted to ask you for comment. I can give you 24 hours to respond. Ooh, okay.
Did you know I told him he had 24 hours to respond, and Logan sued me 3 hours before the deadline? Yep, that's right. Logan's lawyers then threatened me in that lawsuit email that if I report on this new story, Logan might hold me accountable.
If they wanted to sue Coffeezilla, right? Here's another part of this. If they wanted to sue him for the videos that he made, the 2 videos and the tweet he made, they could have just done it around that time. But they waited, and then he kept digging into something completely different, and then they hit him with the lawsuit that doesn't have to do with Liquid Marketplace, but has to do with the defamation of Logan. And on the back end of it, they're like, and by the way, if you continue talking about Liquid Marketplace, here's what we're going to do. Ooh, this is interesting. So this lawsuit has nothing to do with even Liquid Marketplace, but if Coffee keeps going on that, who knows what's behind that door? Who knows what's behind fucking door number 3, dude?
That's right. Logan's lawyers then threatened me in that lawsuit email that if I report on this new story, Logan might hold me accountable. And Logan's definition of accountability seems to mean he'll sue me, which is why I believe this lawsuit was not designed to win, but to shut me up, to threaten.
What happened with Liquid Marketplace? I think that we're gonna get more detail on it, but apparently they're being investigated for misappropriating investor funds. And I think Logan is a part of that company in some way.
Using Logan's wealth and a federal court system without anti-slap to send a message. Do not tell that story. Of course, I don't believe that's the only reason I was sued. Clearly, Logan wanted to sue me for a while, but I believe this new investigation played a role in pulling the trigger. Maybe Logan's team will deny this. Maybe they'll say it's coincidence they sued 3 hours before a deadline. Maybe it's coincidence I announced a story about Logan 6 days before, and maybe it's coincidence that Logan's lawyers threatened me about this new story while suing me for the last story that I hadn't discussed in 6 months.
That's what I'm saying, man. Coffee is setting it up. Like, the way he's telling this story is essentially his legal defense. Again, I don't know that this is going to be all of it because he's going to have a full team of lawyers, I'm assuming as well, but you're seeing the precedent for why he's explaining things the way he is. He's like, well, it could just be coincidence, but he's also saying, hey, this has probably got some real tread here. People that are going to look at this in a legal sense, take a look at all the timeline of events. Very interesting.
But I don't think so. Either way, when someone threatens new reporting in a lawsuit about old reporting, the effect is the same. So, what was this new story?
Oh, he's going into it. Uh-oh. Here we go, baby. Lock the fuck in.
Well, it's partly about a Canadian law enforcement investigation, and it's partly about something I told Logan to help him. Yes, believe it or not, I tried to help Logan Paul. To explain, we need to go back to when CryptoZoo first got exposed. Logan said he was going to sue me, but got backlash. So he called me to apologize. He said he was wrong and wanted to make things right. I made it clear.
So, sue me once, shame on you. Sue me twice. We got to talk about this.
Refunds are the absolute right move going forward, and to my surprise, he agreed. 100%, man. We're on the same page. But we weren't. Logan now doesn't use the word refund. He calls this a buyback. But at the time, I need you to understand, I thought Logan was going to announce a full refund, so I began trying to help him. And dare I say, I was even nice to the guy. You can see that I tried to offer people who might be able to trace blockchain.
All right, so let's read this out. Again, I'm pausing a lot, but we got to get through this, all of it. He says, following up on our conversation, this is on January 9th, 2023. Also interesting, Logan posts this video on January 13th, 2023. Right? The apology video after Coffee starts trying to help him and work with him. Following up on our conversation of refunds for victims and who might be able to do it from a technical perspective, the owner of blank and I talked today, and he said his team might be up for it and interested. They do blockchain tracing and investigations. On Telegram, his handle is this. This is just one option, and I was light on details as I'm sure you'd want to explain yourself, but feel free to follow up if you want.
And in the same spirit, I made Logan aware of potential problems at a different company he co-owned called Liquid Marketplace.
On a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace, it allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together.
This was a fractionalized collectible platform where Logan sold things like roughly half of a $5 million Pokemon card. The idea was you could buy tokens that represented partial ownership in rare collectibles. That video, by the way, got 8 million views, and a lot of people...
He is cooking him. Can someone just explain to me why that's valuable, other than just the same reason NFTs were quote-unquote valuable for a long time? I don't understand, but why would you pay for a portion of something that Logan wears around his neck at all? What is that? Like, why? Where's the value in it? The only value in that and NFTs, and I told you guys from day one, NFTs were fucking scams, bro. I told you. I didn't. There was no value in them other than the people buying them telling you that this is the value of the thing. It looks like he's setting up for, if Logan sues him for defamation again over Liquid Marketplace, he's trying to already set up his defense for it. That's smart, man.
The problem was, I had heard troubling stories about this company, and I was trying to verify if the claims were true. So I had gone to the CEO, Ryan Bahadori, to ask him
He
questions.
said you take 5% of his WWE contract.
But he kept dodging meetings. And I don't mean he refused meeting with me. I mean, we would set up meetings and then he did not show up. So I was troubled. And I brought this up to Logan. I figured if he's going to make one company right, make them all right. Otherwise, it might come back to bite him. I mean, can you imagine the disaster if another one of Logan Paul's co-founded companies was discovered to have scammed his fans? Hypothetically, that would be a very bad look. So I'm thinking,
Dude, the way Coffee is saying that with that smile on his face, bro, yo, we don't know anything about anything, all right? So we're going to let this whole thing play out. But that motherfucker knows more than he's saying in this video. I'll tell you that right now. The way he's talking about it and the confidence in which he's talking about it, yeah, long-term storytelling, big facts. He knows more than he's saying in this video.
So I'm thinking, while he refunds CryptoZoo, Logan can push the CEO to talk with me, and I can figure out the truth. Maybe Logan can fix it if there's something wrong. And you can see Logan responds to me. He says, gonna push Ryan to talk to you. Again, appreciate it, man. Now, I don't hear back from Ryan or Logan about this, so after a while, I follow up again. I say, let me know if Ryan plans on talking. A lot of nasty stories still out there about Liquid Marketplace, embezzlement, etc.
Ooh. Coffee and dropped the word embezzlement. That's a pretty big accusation. I don't know that the word embezzlement was used at all in that headline that we saw. So accusing embezzlement is, and I'm not saying that, I don't know that he is accusing it here, but just dropping the word is a little, because once you start throwing that kind of stuff around, that's where stuff can get serious.
Now, obviously, the most shocking part of this is the word embezzlement.
Yeah.
I need to make it clear. This is not an accusation. I am not accusing Logan Paul or Liquid Marketplace of wrongdoing.
This is what I'm saying, though. You see how quickly he had to do this? Because that shit right there can be, even if Coffee is perfect on everything else, if he's perfect the way he says it, the way he approaches this case, which I think he's been pretty damn good in this video, he can be boom, 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 boom. But if he opens up this new thing, like he's doing, like he's talking about Liquid Marketplace, he's opening that Pandora's box. If he comes out of the gate with the slightest misuse of the word and they go after him, it's going to be another one of these situations, although they may actually have a, depending on what happens, allegedly, whatever, he could put himself in some trouble. So he had to do this.
I brought it up in our texts because it is my job to investigate unverified claims. That's the whole point of me wanting to meet with the CEO, but I was stonewalled. Logan never replied, despite me reminding him again via email 5 months later that I wanted to talk to Ryan about, quote, embezzlement and, quote, potential fraud.
Dog, you had to know that Logan, I don't know how much Logan checks his email, but you had to know that every time he got one of these motherfucking emails from Coffeezilla, he's like, man, come on, bro. Come on, just leave me alone.
Once again, not accusing anyone of wrongdoing, I'm simply doing my job at the time to chase down rumors and unverified claims. Without concrete proof, I would have never talked about any of this. But on June 19th, 2024, things changed because the Ontario Securities Commission revealed a liquid marketplace investigation where they accused Liquid Marketplace of being a multi-layered fraud.
Shit, hold on. Oh, hey, let's...
Investigation where they accused Liquid Marketplace of being a multi-layered fraud.
This matter involves a multi-layered fraud in the crypto assets sector. You know what's crazy about this? I don't know what's happened here, but they definitely looks like they're being investigated. There had been so many of these crypto scams that Coffeezilla has like investigated and we had heard about for so much time. It feels like just now that a lot of the governments are catching up to what's been happening and they are starting to put a light on it. Motherfuckers are going to start getting either held liable or money is going to start having to come out of these, account, like whatever. There's going to be a lot of investigations going around, I think. Because how many years did we see like another influencer thing or whatever, and people are losing money left and right? Now it feels like the law is just now catching up to crypto and they are about to start fucking body bagging fools. Suits and ties at your doorstep.
The platform allegedly did not do exactly what it promised. Some of the blockchain tokens did not even mint. But even worse was the allegation that approximately $3 million was misappropriated from $10 million they raised of investor funds. This is a very similar claim to the one I had tried to verify. Ryan Bahadouri, the guy I tried to speak to, was accused of, quote, making hidden payments to shell corporations without any legitimate business purpose.
Whoa, buddy. This is why he dropped that E word that he is not alleging, that we are not alleging, but misappropriation of funds to $3 million, which is essentially 30% of investor funds. And again, being accused, this guy Ryan, by the way, Logan is not named in any of this. Logan is not the person that is being investigated in this investigation. It's this guy, Ryan Mahadori. The problem is, it's the Ryan guy and the three others. Logan is the only guy that hasn't been named. And so Logan potentially, has no issues, no wrongdoing because he's not the one being investigated. It's just, it so happens that he is also a co-founder of this company that is being alleged to have done some pretty shitty stuff.
And Ryan was accused of, quote, using company credit cards to buy high-end fashion, expensive jewelry and watches, personal health and luxury spa services. If only there was someone who could have investigated this sooner. Now, it is really important to say Logan Paul is not accused by the OSC. Only 3 of his co-founders and his company is. But given the history, I had questions. After all, Logan's promotional video about Liquid Marketplace is still up. And the reason many people cared about Liquid Marketplace at all was arguably Logan Paul. So here were my questions. And as I read this, it's important to correct. I say Liquid Marketplace got accused of embezzlement. Technically, the OSC alleged misappropriation of funds. Those are similar. They're not the same. So I wanted to correct that. But
yeah, again, you see he had to be very specific because the law is crazy, man. Coffee is walking through a field of landmines right now, even making this video. The balls to be able to make this video. And I don't know how right or wrong he's got this or how right or wrong any of this is. But if he turns out to be right on a lot of this, woo-wee, this man got some freaking grapefruits hanging from his sack, bro. I'm just telling you.
Here's what I asked. Quote, did you take any action?
Oh, here we go. Let me move over here.
On hearing these allegations over a year ago? Did you get approached by the Ontario Securities Commission? And is it true that Liquid Marketplace lied about their claims of insurance, appraisals, and co-ownership as the Ontario Securities Commission alleges? You can see I gave him 24 hours to respond.
Okay, this is the fateful test. This is the one that was a step too far for Coffeezilla. And when I say a step too far, this is the one that made Logan and his team pull the trigger on the lawsuit. This one right here. Again, you want to say coincidental, maybe, but you have to think that this is where they went, oh shit, we need to fucking figure this out.
on June 26th at 2:03 p.m. And I was promptly sued June 27th at 11:28 a.m. with roughly 3 hours to spare. Now I want to be clear. I don't know the answer.
Okay, so another big part of this that I didn't even comprehend when he kept saying you have 24 hours to respond, 24 hours to respond, 24 hours to respond. Coffee was either going to put a video out or potentially a tweet or something out about this. I assume. Am I right in thinking that? He was going to put a tweet or a video or something out investigating or at least highlighting the current investigation into Liquid Marketplace. So that was the straw. That was the real thing. Not that he was asking questions, but that he was going to go public.
Maybe Logan secretly whistleblew to the OSC when I first went to him. I don't know. That's why you ask questions as a reporter. But now the story is not about those questions. It's about why I was sued immediately after asking them and threatened if I reported about Liquid Marketplace in a way they didn't like. This is not how I wanted this story to come out because there's still so much we don't know and so much I can't say now for legal reasons. Maybe Logan's totally innocent. Maybe he surrounded himself with scumbags who defrauded his fans. Maybe he'll do a refund for this project. I don't know because I never got the chance to find out. I tried to investigate.
All those things, honestly, are possibilities. We have seen for years Logan surround himself with people that are genuine idiots. Like, we've seen some really just goofball people around Logan. And to be fair, Jake as well for a long time, right? Like, when you are the level of these guys, I swear sometimes it's like the Gary Vee effect. You'll just hear something that you think a person is smart is saying, and therefore, because you think that person is smart, the thing they're saying is also smart and you should believe it. You know what I mean?
But I was stonewalled and sued when I asked questions. Make no mistake though, this investigation is still ongoing. And you can reach me at the email below if you were affected. I will release my full investigation when it's appropriate because even if Logan doesn't want to answer questions, it doesn't mean I have to stop asking them.
Oh shit.
So in summary, Logan's lawsuit is not about my original reporting into CryptoZoo. Even if you take this lawsuit on its own without context, it's an argument over Logan not refunding victims in full. It's Logan insisting he's not to blame. It's all his business partner's fault. But I don't think that aligns with the publicly known facts. That's my opinion. For years, Logan has controlled CryptoZoo, and yet the game is still not out. Logan is now blaming the government for that instead of himself, and he also blames me for losing his good reputation, but you can't lose something you never had. Not to mention,
Damn.
Logan is arguably richer than ever, and he's on the...
Damn. And also, again, I have to say this. I feel like Logan's reputation would be far better had he just taken the L with CryptoZoo and moved on. Like, look at how much cool shit he's done with Prime. Look at how much cool shit he's done with fucking the WWE. I think it would have just been way better off had he just moved on. So we found out, yes, this lawsuit is not about CryptoZoo. It's about Logan's, well, allegedly, I guess, Logan's, Coffeezilla's defaming of Logan Paul. But through this lawsuit, we've also learned that Liquid Marketplace has some issues and is being investigated. And I guess in some form or fashion, how does that relate to Logan? Crazy.
So this defamation lawsuit feels frivolous even on the surface. But if you dig deeper, there's an even more compelling story, which I personally believe, where the goal is to crush new investigations while taking revenge on old ones. In this version, Logan might not even care about winning. Legal battles are expensive, and in the world of money, he's got me beat. So he can try to silence me by weaponizing the law. He can sue me for doing my job. He can sue me for asking questions, and he can sue me for asking for refunds. But it's going to backfire because I think it reveals Logan as a bully rather than someone who's truly sorry. Because Logan may be a master at...
That's what I was going to say, dude. Like, if this whole thing is over Logan's reputation, right, and defaming him, doesn't him suing Coffeezilla just make him look worse than the actual things that, or maybe not worse than it, but it makes him look on the same level of the things that Coffee has said? You know what I mean? Like, you suing Coffee for the things that he said, again, allegedly, what the details are of, I guess we'll find out. It doesn't put Logan in a good light, even if he is to bleed out Coffee or potentially even win this thing. Defaming him has come at the cost of CryptoZoo and whatever else that he's done in the past. Like, Logan's reputation isn't just solely based off CryptoZoo. His reputation is based on a lot of things that Logan has done that people have still kept with them and CryptoZoo. And you're suing the guy that like shined a light on the CryptoZoo stuff, but has also done a lot of good things in exposing a lot of the bad side of crypto. So it just makes Logan look so much worse that he's doing this to save a reputation that he is actively, unfortunately, through Coffeezilla just continuing to deteriorate. It just doesn't make any sense. It's all backwards, man. It's all very backwards, the way these people look at it.
Convincing people he's changed, but I'm convinced it's the follow-through where things go wrong. You know, the actually changing part. There was a time where even I believed Logan was going to fully refund victims. That's why I was so nice to him and tried to help despite him threatening to sue me. But when it came time to pay up, Logan chose a minority refund and to fight the rest of the victims in court who wanted their money. And when I complained about that, Logan went from sorries and thank yous to lawyers and I'm suing you real quick. The irony is, it was that same initial belief in Logan's capacity to change that also made me bring up Liquid Marketplace to help stop potential problems. And yet here we are. The company is now accused of being a multi-layered fraud by the OSC. Jeez. And the CEO, who I tried to talk to multiple times, is alleged to have misappropriated money. This is despite me trying to talk to Logan directly many times as he asked.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me personally, not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven.
Well, I did try to reach out personally.
Yo, it's just every time he shows a clip of Logan, it's just Logan eating shit. Oh my God. Yeah, and then Logan, like when he does these like response videos, doesn't it feel like an actor? Like he's just reciting lines. It doesn't feel real at all. Like Coffee is speaking in legal terms here and you know, having to do some gymnastics around what he says and does here, but it at least feels real. But every time Logan does one of these videos where he's like, I'm going to take a stand or like, you know, something is controversial, it sounds acted. All of it does. It sounds like a big act. The reason people have, you know, and I hate to compare the two because they're not in the same, whatever. But the reason people have started to, or at least I have started to see a side of Jake that is very much different is because it's real. And anytime you change one of these influencers or people, you know, galvanize behind you because they see a real person. They don't see some actor that's just like putting on a mask to like, well, actually, you know, it's like, it just doesn't feel real at all.
And I got sued and threatened a day later. That, I think, says a lot about Logan's supposed change and his belief in accountability. Maybe the person he really believes in accountability for is not himself, but me, specifically when I try to get accountability from him. If you want to support this lawsuit,
all right, so there you go, man. Coffeezilla is being sued by Logan Paul in what I look at as an unwinnable case. Like Logan, it doesn't seem is going to be able to prove that Coffeezilla defamed him in any way. And again, what it looks like to me is that whatever Coffeezilla was doing to potentially shine a light on what's going on with the other company that Logan's a part of, Liquid Marketplace, and whatever wrongdoings are happening over there, allegedly, potentially, could be a reason this is all coming out because none of it looks good. Logan is suing Coffeezilla for defamation while also defaming himself and putting his own reputation that's already been, you know, let's just say it like it is. It's taken more hits than a Saturday night hooker. Like, it is not going well for Logan on the reputation front. It's not. And the more he does stuff like this, the worse it's going to get. I have a feeling this is far from over, but I don't really know what happens next. I assume we're going to get less and less details until it's all over, but I don't have those answers. You guys let me know in the comments below what happens with this Logan Paul lawsuit and why is he even doing it? I don't have the answers. I guess we'll find out.